All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You already know who it is. Targeted individuals, CJBK. Because I'm standing in the light, I am perfectly fine with people knowing that my name is Christopher B. James. Why? Because I believe with all the faith in God that no matter what happens to me on this earth, my name is going to be remembered as the people who actually stood against a digital technocracy of occults using nanotechnology to basically rule the world, just like, Nazis tried to do, just like the Egyptians, just like everybody else using all the ancient technology tried to do. So, and then, all right. So I've been wanting to make this video since like Sunday, but I'm glad I waited because I did something yesterday that was, it actually really, it made my day, honestly. It was so exciting to me that I was like, everything that I've learned from these two conversations I had, it's going to come up at some point in the future. It's going to come up again, and several people other than myself are going to be talking about this conversation. I'm speaking it into existence. Now, how I'm feeling, right by the police car. Anyway, so how I'm feeling today. For the most part, I mean, you know what I started doing? For the last 2 days, anything that was plugged in to my outlets in my bedroom, I just turned the power, if I don't unplug it, I'm just turning the power strips off completely. And yes, I was still being attacked. Why? Because the only two things that was basically being used as an electrical source or an EMF radiation source to be able to power and steer their frequency beams were my cell phone, my laptop. At least those are the two things that, at least in my room, that still had an electrical charge that they can basically, pull or vacuum pull the energy they need for their frequencies. Now, I feel like there was also a point where, I was using my chi or my natural bioelectric energy from my nervous system to, basically be able to grab and hold one of the frequencies, and then as I'm holding it, I move it around the room to see if that one frequency can actually pick up on other frequencies. And that's something that I just kind of found out by accident. Because it was like when I realized I can actually grab a frequency, because it's literally about willing your energy to be more stronger than the energy that they're using to be, your willful bioelectric energy is much stronger than the energy that they're using, because they're remotely pulling, synthetic energy from electronic devices in order to power the beams that they're, using to attack you. Now, the thing is, because we are connected to an infinite source of power, I realize that when I grab on to the frequency, what I believe is happening is my nervous system basically acts like almost like a, I want to say, let me see. It's like my nervous system is me, right? And then when I grab the frequency, I can tell that's something that's not me. It feels like something that's not a part of my energy. It's not like when I grab it, it just saps into my body. No, my energy knows the difference between the energy that they're using to basically insert into, my body. So, I'm going to find a way to display this one way or another, and this is where I'm gonna get into. Well, no, I'm not gonna get there yet. So Sunday, I went to church with my mother for the first time since, like, let me see, I think it was New Year's. That was the last time I went to church with her. She was real excited because she's been like, oh, you need to go to church. You got to get all your strength from the Lord. You got to come and congregate with everyone. And, you got to, if you want the Lord to really help you, you got to be in church. And, I'm not necessarily one who's big on being around a lot of people. That's just me in general. But then on top of that, as I got older, I realized whenever I'm feeling the energy, like there's a group of people that feels like the majority that don't necessarily give off the energy that I'm belonging there. If it doesn't feel worth fighting for, I'm not going to stay there, And if I get the feeling like someone's trying to like take advantage or use me or whatever, and I'm not consciously choosing to say, okay, you know what, I know that you're doing it, but I'm going to allow it and still benefit from it somehow anyway. And I would just, allow it to continue. But what I'm really trying to get down to is, the torment did not stop at all when I was in the church. It really did not. It actually, the funny part is, so while my mother and I were on our way, well, at least getting dressed for church and whatnot, they were focusing a lot of the radiation on her chest. And, as she's like just trying to put on her shoes and everything, she's willing herself at this point to make sure she goes to church, because she was feeling all of the impulses to want to just stay home, be tired, don't really go because her body is aching, her chest hurts. She's said several times over that they've been burning her legs, for several weeks now. And like I try to tell my mother as much as I can about some of the things that I do, but her I'm not upset with her really for it, but she does not want to take too much attention away from God and what God is capable of doing. And I'm like, well, it's not that I'm taking anything away from God when I'm studying this technology and I'm trying to learn as much as I can about what they're doing and how they're doing it. It's not that I'm trying to take anything away from God, because you also got to remember that God actually works through people in order to carry out certain things in the world. And you got to also remember, the metaphysics that, spirits, angels, they're basically part of a different dimension. They can still have influence in our dimension, but they're part of a different dimension. So it's like, it just be like, you see him trying to swing in there too? But, so it's like, she always try to tell me, she's like, you got to have more faith in God. You got to have more faith in God. And I'm like, I never lost my faith. The only thing is I'm not just going to sit here and just, like, keep taking it, though. I mean, I'm like, I get it. That's basically what Jesus did when he allowed them to basically crucify him or whatnot. He basically just took it. But I'm just like, nah, there's got to be a way to fight this spiritually and physically, So But the funny thing is, there are times when when she starts to do some of the things I tell her to do, like take the radiation sea salt soda, baking soda bath, detox bath, or when I tell her to like, listen to healing frequencies, like through YouTube if she feels like her blood pressure or cholesterol is up or something. So she'll do that. She'll do some things, but she's not gonna go completely gung-ho about like, she just doesn't want to like feel like she's giving anything else more praise than God, and I completely understand that. So so the thing is, I'm looking for 120. Yeah. So while we got in the car, to take us to church. At this point, I asked her how she's feeling. She's like, she's feeling a little bit better. And I'm thinking, okay, because now, as she's starting to feel better, I'm starting to actually feel like the attacks, like an attack building on me. So at this point, they done changed where they're aiming where they're aiming their attention at now. Now they're focusing on me. Hold on, I will be back. I'm gonna just deliver this real quick. Okay, so yeah. So as I'm in church, right, I'm feeling beams like just burning like my chest, like mostly my heart. They was aiming at my heart the entire time. They had a lot of they had frequencies on my heart, and they also had frequencies all over like the back of my head, especially on the right side of my head near the memory processing part of the brain. And it got to the point where, I know it really doesn't do anything, but I turned my phone off, and I even put it on the ground in front of me, and then put my foot on top of the phone because the beams were coming from the phone, or rather the sensors that's basically transmitting the frequencies were coming from the phone. So I put my foot over my phone, and I felt like it reduced it just a little bit, but not by that much. Yeah, so it reduced it just a little bit, but not by too much, because I was still feeling the frequencies coming from probably different areas, because why, I'm in a church filled with bright lights. Everyone in there has a cell phone. So at this point I realized, all right, so what I'm gonna have to do while I'm in here, and my mom, she keeps like, funny thing is, like, I kept trying to close my eyes, right? Because if I close my eyes, I can increase the neural activity, or refocus my neural activity, so then I can try to manage the energy that is being manipulated on me. But every time I kept closing my eyes, my mother kept tapping me. She's sitting next to me. She's sitting next to me. She kept tapping me. I'm like, why do you keep tapping me? She's like, because you look like you're sleeping. I'm like, I'm not sleeping. I'm trying to like get in touch with the spirit that's, moving through the room. I'm trying to get connected. And I'm like, it's too much stimulation through the eyes. So I'm like, I'm just going to close my eyes and try to focus on the energy that's around me. So then I could try to like, basically how I interpreted it was, Some of you, I think some of y'all who watching, y'all probably going to look and know exactly why I said, oh. So, but anyway, so I'm just literally trying to see if I can manifest an increase in my, armor of God, put on your whole armor of God. So I'm like trying to like manifest this more, because the more I keep reading about spirituality, the nervous system, and what exactly the nanotechnology is going after or what it's manipulating, I realize you can will the energy around you to be more supporting for you to help fight against this technology. And I'm gonna tell you, what I just said is gonna come up again later, right? So now I'm in there, I'm basically like, I'm literally trying to let go at this point and just enjoy my time in church or whatever. And I'm just like trying to like, I'm trying to be present, right? And then, the V2K, it doesn't stop. The entire time they're like, Chris, not a secret society. No, you know nothing about Christianity. Because they're like, as he's like, all right, as the pastor's like preaching and everything, golly, this is a heavy like today. As the pastor's like preaching and everything, I'm basically realizing a lot of the things that he's mentioning sound grossly connected or relatable to gang stalking, or at least the centuries old version of gang stalking when you think about it, because none of this stuff is new. It's all old. It's all old. None of this stuff is new. Same intentions, different generation. Same intentions, different generation. Did I miss? All right, hold on. I'll be right back. Gotta make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. So, right. So yeah, like I'm in the church and I'm feeling like all the attacks, just building on me. But at some point, I think I literally made like a solid connection with God while I was in there, because I was just like, at some point I was just like, glory be to God, increase my armor, Father God in heaven. Then all of a sudden I start to feel my energy almost like I don't know how many of you are like anime fans or whatever, but it's like, it felt like there was like something from the core, like the center of me, that kept trying to like bloom out, like something kept like, it kept trying to grow out. It just kept trying to bloom and just grow out of me. And then as it's trying to like press outwards, it like, imagine how like an explosion happens, right? And like it felt like something was, trying to like bloom out of me, right? And it started to feel like the sensors were almost like melting away from me, or obliterating, or the energy from the sensors were basically like how can I really explain it? It felt like the energy from the sensors started to like dissipate. And I was just like, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. I was like, because you have to visualize it. Not only you have to just like, say it out loud or profess it from your mouth. You have to literally see it. You have to visualize it. And trust me, it took a lot of focus, especially since my mother kept tapping me and breaking my concentration. But eventually I started to feel that you can willfully basically, in some way, shape, or form, destroy the energy around you that they're trying to smother you with. But the thing is you have like we've been poisoned for so long, like chemically and electronically poisoned for so long, that it's hard for many of us to maintain that focus, even when we are dealing with someone coming at our energy, like people who are like true meditation masters and stuff like that, and nothing can break their concentration. I think that's where we kind of I think that's where we pretty much have to be, and prayer is the same thing. Prayer and meditation are basically the same thing, and I think that's where we need to be as, a people, because that's one of the best ways you connect to God and you connect to the universe. Is you have to be able to ground yourself and really get yourself to imagine being a light that is almost like unstoppable in the energy that's already in you. All you're doing is basically calling on the energy that's feeding you every day for more energy, so you can be able to push back against, the synthetic energy that's smothering you with. Because that's basically what it is when you see those images of those images where they're talking about chakras and auras and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you, hardcore Christians or devoted Christians don't completely disregard those type of things, because there's he's turning. That could have made that oh well. I don't like sitting still because it makes it harder to pedal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm about to try to flip onto the other side of the street and make that right turn. Damn, now the bus is coming. I'm just trying to get to the other side. Damn it. Hold on. This is the part why, this is like one of the reasons why I don't want to do night shifts. Because working at night, everyone and their mama is outside and driving, and when it's 5 a.m., 6, 7, hell, even 8 a.m., it's not that many cars and people out. But as soon as they get around the time where everybody getting up and leaving for work and school, it's just a lot of people, man. But anyway, so Anne Hathaway, that's a beautiful one right there. What else? Traffic done broke my concentration. I gotta go to that next block right there. But yeah, but anyway, so there's some truth to the idea that I know he see me in his left mirror. But anyway, whatchamacallit, so they said 200, that's right over here. So, there is some truth to that, where they say that people who meditate, or wait, this is 214. What the hell is 200? It's probably on the block behind me. Oh, it's right there on the corner. But all right, hold on. Let me just handle this real quick. I think this is a doorman building, so I don't even have to take it upstairs. All right, so I need to finish this up. But anyway, so yeah, now besides the attacks, right, and the verbal, the verbal assaults, that they're trying to basically get me to doubt my faith, or make me feel like I'm not like a real believer in God or Christ or anything like that. The pastor also gets into saying I don't remember everything that he said, but there's one. Of course, we're coming up on Easter Sunday, so they mentioned Luke 22 about how Judas basically, or how, like, what was it? How the rulers or whatever. I forgot the words for them. You know, my memory is being attacked, so I can't remember everything. But how, like, the rulers and the Jesuits, they were all plotting and trying to figure out ways on how to basically destroy Jesus and everything, right? So Judas basically was like, you know, he would help them set up Jesus to be taken, and they would pay him for doing so. And I thought about that. I was thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And I'm like, yo, remember Judas' main reason for doing that was basically so he could try to save himself, right? That's where it mostly boils down to, is that Judas called himself basically trying to save himself. And save himself by how? Accepting money by turning on someone who is actually doing right by you. Now think about all you TIs out there, that sounds horrifyingly familiar. About how, you know, friends, family, co-workers, associates, anyone who's basically a part of the Jesuit society, what would they do if they were threatened? If they were threatened, or their livelihood or their lives were threatened by, you know, a majority of people that seem, you know, powerful per se, right? What would they do? We would leave you alone if you help us, you know, get this person or do something to that person, whatever. That's literally what they're doing today. When you think about gang stalking, that's what they're doing. So when you think about the technology and how they're basically using the nanotechnology to extract information that's supposed to be locked inside of a person's brain, but they're using the technology to basically extract memories or even falsify memories. And I think it's this one here. Hold on, stopping again. All right. So, where was I? Right. So, you know, and then, you know, on top of that, not only are they like promising our family, friends, relatives money, but they're promising them the opportunity to become basically superhuman. Because, you know, when you look into what nanotechnology is supposed to do for human beings, it basically alters who you are as a human being. It changes you. It's augmentating the way your body operates, the way your mind works, you know, how your immune system fights diseases or whatever the case is. You know, they're promising you basically immortality in a sense. All you got to do in exchange is sell someone out. It's like, that's basically what they do. They promise you immortality for selling someone out. That's basically what it is. This is basically why, you know, the handlers who basically hack my nervous system say, don't you realize you are messing with people's livelihoods? They said that. They said, you're messing with people's livelihoods. And then on top of that, so that was the Luke 22 reference, right? And then, I mean, like literally go through the Bible, look up Luke 22, and just read about how Judas did Jesus, and tell me if that's not like how your family or your friends probably did you, right? Now, Um, what else? All right, I want to fast forward to yesterday, right? Now, yesterday, oh, right. So I've been, no, I think I mentioned that already about sleeping with all the electrical appliances either unplugged or turned off in my bedroom. But I'm trying to figure out a way on how I can, I mean, it's, why are you rushing me? Like, you see, he gonna honk his horn telling me I'm moving too slow, and I'm like, you see him moving forward, what do you expect me to do? Pedal faster? Like, I'm like, but anyway, and then one of the handlers said, exactly. So, you know, when you think about it, they probably are part of the secret society too. They probably told him, honk your horn at him. And usually any little abrupt sound is basically is like an interference with your brain activity. Any random, sudden, abrupt sounds that you ever just randomly come out of nowhere, and you actually feel the neurons, the activity. You feel the electrical activity in your brain, you know, change, or something happens within the brain. So every time when you do hear like a sound or something like that, it was done on purpose, because your brain is always constantly receiving, you know, impulses or signals or energy, ideas, whatever you want to call it. Your brain is always constantly receiving these things until you actually start consciously focusing on something in particular. Like if you are choosing to just focus on one or two things and nothing else, everything else you basically just kind of like disregard, or you actually learn to cognitively block out things that you don't want to you know, distract you from whatever it is that you want to focus on. That's usually the opportune times when they make those sudden noises. Why? Because they need to find a way to break your concentration, so then they can work like a middleman and then slip something right into your brain when you're not paying attention. And usually the best times they can do that are those moments when you are not consciously paying attention to the things that you're doing or whatever. That's why they always do those, you know, dropping marbles on the floor above your head, or you'll hear like knocks on the wall, because at that moment you were doing something with your brain where you were focusing or concentrating on something, and they needed you to break your concentration because you were probably interfering with their nanotechnology with reading your brain waves. So what they need to do, they need to cause a distraction so that it can break that brainwave signature, or break or just basically be able to break the your concentration, so then they can then implant whatever the hell that they wanted to implant into your mind, or get something to resonate with your body that they couldn't get to resonate before. Let me do this delivery and I'll finish up. I hope I don't get another route. Yeah. So, you know, funny thing is, I go to do this delivery, right? And now here's the strange thing, right? It was a 19 package delivery, pretty big order. And you know, for the most part, I normally don't be missing packages that often. And then if I do, I normally find out if I'm missing a package, like while I'm scanning all of the packages, right? Now, here's the thing. They started doing this new thing where all you gotta do is scan one bag that's on your total route, and then it basically automatically, like, you know, it automatically, yeah, thank you. So then it automatically basically scans all of the packages that's supposed to be on the route into your itinerary. Now I just got to the place, and then for whatever reason, whatever reason, I'm counting through the packages and I realize, wait, I'm missing a bag. And I'm like, it's only, it's like, it was my second to last stop. That means it was at the bottom of my, my cart. So I'm thinking to myself, where, I don't think no one could have took it. Because I'm thinking to myself, there's no way somebody could have took it because it was at the bottom of my cart, But anyway, so back to what I'm saying, because I'm tired of stopping and going. I'm really early anyway. I'm supposed to be scheduled till 10:45, and it's just now past 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna just go ahead and I got one last delivery on this particular route window. So right, so yeah, and then like yesterday I actually did what I wanted to do a long time ago, and that was to actually have a conversation with, hold on one second. Right. So I got to have a conversation with the Microsoft Bing AI chatbot. And to tell you the truth, it was everything I hoped it to be. Quite honestly, I loved it. I loved it because if you want to see the conversation or the questions I asked and the responses it gave about nanotechnology, moral ethics, and a number of different things. I'm going to at least include, because in total, I think it was like 57 screenshots of the interaction. But I kid you not, that AI knows a lot. That AI knows a lot about what am I trying to say? Damn, my mind is drawing blanks. I think one, I was thrown off by that missing bag, and then two, I'm like, I feel pressure on the right side of my head, like almost as if someone's trying to stick a screwdriver in the side of my brain, right where the memory processing area is at. It's like a pinpoint, pressure that's right on the side of my head, and I'm hearing like pops. I'm hearing pops, like they're like small popping sounds, and like almost like bubbles and things like that that's popping on the side of my head. But anyway, yeah, I asked it a lot of questions about nanotechnology, the arguments for and against, and things of that sort. And it told me a lot. It told me a lot about nanotechnology and the different ways that it's being used, to either help humanity or to be used as a weapon against humanity. It told me a lot, right? Now, the funny thing is, this is when you gotta read this. At some point, I think I got it comfortable enough. I was like, you telling me a whole lot about this nanotechnology. So then I was like, okay, what can you tell me about? I think the question was like, so what? Who are targeted individuals? I kid you not, I spooked the AI. I spooked the AI so bad that I think its response was basically like, this does not feel like a healthy conversation, and we should change topics or something like that, or rather it went mostly into something along, I love bulldogs, but it went into this thing where it was just like, Like, it was just like, I'm not touching that. I'm not talking about this subject. And it literally shut down the conversation. It closed the conversation. Now, mind you, in this first conversation, it was mostly just answering things, right? It was mostly answering my questions. So I said, all right, I'm gonna start off fresh, and I'm gonna come with a different. I'm trying to get the same. Still going to try to see if I could get answers out of it about TIs, but I had to rephrase the question, right? I had to rephrase it, do it in a more different way, right? Now the funny thing is, when I changed up how I was going to carry out the second conversation, then the AI started asking me questions. So I was like, oh snap, this is getting good. So what I'm gonna do is I can share either my Facebook link to my to the pictures I posted of the conversation, or I can share I guess my my Instagram page, so then you can read the conversation. But I'm telling you, that AI was like when I asked it all about, different things you can do that can dissolve the nanobots, and funny thing is, it mentioned hydrogen peroxide as something that can actually dissolve carbon-based nanotechnology, or carbon-based nanobots. And I was like, wow, hydrogen peroxide, something you could just literally buy over the counter. And I mean, but I've already known this for quite some time, that there are some very natural things that you can do that can help get this shit out of you. Because remember, this nanotechnology, it can't just be completely inorganic, because then the body will reject it and start kicking it out. So of course it has to be made of some type of particles or materials that's already in humans, so that the body won't fully reject it. All right. So let me see. Right now they have a frequency on, it feels like probably my left tonsil. And usually what it always feels like is as if like someone is taking like their finger or taking something pointy, but sometimes it'll feel like something dull and pointy, or it'll feel like something sharp and pointy, something that's like either burning or something just pressing, like something pressurized going against a nerve or the skin, or whether it's an organ or something like that, or they can even make that pressurized sensation on like an artery or something like that. And they'll actually say through the V2K, he doesn't realize he's clogging his own arteries. But me knowing about this technology, I'm not fooled anymore. You can't fool me into becoming paranoid or anything like that, because now I know that these sensors are more than capable of doing everything that they say that they're doing. So if they say that, oh, he's about to have a stroke, they can, well, first and foremost, they have to get you to consciously believe that you're about to have a stroke, because when you consciously believe that you're about to have a stroke or something, you are actually accepting it and you are internalizing it. And from that point, you're now actually about to manifest you about to have a stroke. So you have to actually train your mind to actually block out the V2K and everything that they're doing with the nano sensors. You have to control, you have to really take ownership of your mind. You have to remember that, the human body and the human brain are like extremely, extremely powerful things, right? But a lot of people that are lost in this world, they lost sight, and they lost the ability to remember that we are some highly like powerful beings. And I mean, we are more powerful than the bodies that we're actually in. Our true power is not going to come from the body, but our true power is actually coming from our natural energy, right? Hold on, this is my last delivery. Let me just knock this one out. Okay. What else? Let's see. So, where was I? I'm trying to remember where I was at now. I should have took the steps. I really should have took the steps. I'm only one floor up. Too late. I should have just took the steps. Alright, yeah, so, yeah, that AI bot gave me a lot of information, including about, possible ways that can be used to defend, and I specifically put help human beings defend themselves against, the abuse of nanotechnology. And, let me see one. And yeah, what am I trying to get at now? Oh right, I was trying to avoid the cobblestone, but I know I'm going to end up running into some cobblestone street anyway. Sorry, I really be trying to keep my train of thought. I really be trying. And then, every time when I'm trying to maintain my focus or something, I could feel them doing things inside of my mind where if I'm holding on to a particular thought, it almost feel like I'm struggling to hold on to it because it feels like imagine in your mind, right? A thought is basically like a string, right? And your neurons work like, let's say it's like you are holding a string, both ends in your left and your right hand, and you pull, right? You pull and you got tension. You're not necessarily breaking it, but you're trying to you have the string in your hand and you just need the tension. And then now you're trying to transfer, I don't know, you're basically transferring something from one hand to the other. But then here comes something out of nowhere. This thing, it's almost as if someone just comes out of nowhere. This is why I don't like coming down cobblestone streets. But it's like someone just comes out of nowhere and they take a pair of scissors and they snip the string that you're holding. And you're like, what the hell? I know what I was trying to talk about. Then all of a sudden it felt like somebody just broke the connection. That's exactly what it's like. When they're manipulating your mind and you're trying to remember things and you're trying to keep things, you're trying to keep things flowing, but then something comes and interferes and breaks your whole concentration. That's what they can do with these nano sensors. That's what they can do with the nanobots. The excitation of neurons or the overexcitation of neurons in the brain, basically disrupting your ability, your cognitive functions. But yeah, all right. So, long story short, I'm gonna make sure I at least post in the description section the link to my conversation with the AI bot, and then maybe some of you will be able to gather whatever information you can from there. And maybe shoot, if you find something in there and you can let me know, whatever. I know I plan to buy the one thing it said that you can use that can display. What? Oh snap. Anyway, but what was I trying to say? New York City, you gotta love it, you gotta hate it. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I include the links. But one of the things it said that like as far as devices or things that you can do to help sense or to reveal nanosensors, it said something about a red light therapy device. A red light therapy device, from what I've found, is basically a type of a red light that can be, well, basically it's a red light. It's a red light that carries a type of a specific energy frequency, and it's supposed to be a healing light. It's supposed to be a healing light for the skin, the cells, all these different things. But what it also said was, in this red light, it will show, it will, or better yet, it will expose the light of something else making contact with your body. So I'm really curious. I went on eBay and I looked it up. I looked up red light therapy devices, and I got in the bike lane just to get kicked out the bike lane again. But what was I trying to say? You saw how long he looked at me? Every time when people be looking at me for more than like 3 seconds, I'm like, I know I don't have nothing on my face. So I'll be like, if you're looking at my face for more than 3 seconds, especially in New York City, because people don't just be looking in your face. If you're looking at my face for 3 seconds or more, that means I'm thinking you're reading something. And I'm not somebody that necessarily like gives off a lot to read about, unless you are looking at something visually informative, like let's say data. Because I mean, if you're augmented and your optical nerves have been altered, so now you can probably see light, or you can see a spectrum of light that in a non-augmented person can't see. You probably are looking and reading something that not everyone who isn't augmented can see. Anyway, let me see, was there anything else? I think I'm gonna end it there for now, because I told you what I really wanted to tell you already. So everything else, I guess it was just buffering. But all right, I'll keep you all posted. I ordered me some DMSO. I'll probably explain more in detail about what the purpose of DMSO is for. But from what I gathered so far, is DMSO can be used to help detox. Wow, that was rats in broad daylight. We're getting bold now, but what am I trying to say? Yeah. So it's like right under the left side of my neck, like right here. It feels like someone has a pen or like some dull, pointy thing, and they're pressing against, like, I think that's a gland, or I forgot what that is. I can't remember my anatomy right now. And then when I blow out, all I get is heat. It's like a heat coming from here, but it's not coming from my chest or it's not coming from the stomach. The heat feel like it's pulling from here, like almost like a canal or airflow. It comes up through here and then it comes out through something that's like either on the other side of my jaw or whatever the case, and then it comes out through the mouth. In that sense, that's probably, well, not even probably, that's like one of the sensors being concentrated on part of my body where they're heating up the cells, basically destroying the cells, so that it could eventually, either just, become destroyed or become cancerous at some point. Yeah. Anyway, all right, so I'm gonna end it here. I didn't get another route yet, at least I don't think so. So I'm about to call it a day. Always remember, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.